As many of you know, I was chosen to go on a Jewish mother healthcare provider trip to Israel this summer. The trip was wonderful. We saw the great healthcare work being done in Israel and got to be among the first tourists back in the country. On that trip, the leaders talked to us about something called higher power moments, meaning times that God may have had a hand in something in your life. Looking back now, I believe that about 3 years ago when Steve Habenstock and Abe Marquez met me for a glass of wine because I told them I don't drink coffee and asked me to consider becoming president-elect of Rodef Shalom, that was a higher power moment. And the wine may have helped a little bit. It is a bit fitting and perhaps another higher power moment that Rodef has had a physician as president during this pandemic. I am proud of how Rodef has handled the challenges COVID-19 has brought. Unlike many other shuls, we have remained open for in-person services since May of 2020, adjusting our safety protocols to follow CDC guidelines as they have changed. We currently require masks indoors and have moved our kiddush luncheons and other events with food to outdoors. As Rabbi Cantor mentioned in a sermon many months ago, we have encouraged all of our congregants 12 and older to get their COVID-19 vaccinations. Protecting yourself and others is just the Jewish thing to do. We have had fabulous themed Shabbats and Shabbat dinners this last year, including Cinco de Mayo Shabbat, Independence Day Shabbat, Graduation Shabbat, and Buck Shabbat, which I think helped the Bucks win the Super Bowl. We have had great men's club and sisterhood programs and new and innovative youth programs, including our Purim Carnival. And we have continued to have fun programs like movie night and trivia nights. Minyan is a strong aspect of Rodef, with Mondays and Thursdays back in person. And knowing the importance of children being in school, we have continued to have in-person Sunday school all of last year and this year. We are already planning some great events for 5782. Please join us this month for Young at Heart program on September 23rd, a comedian magician in the Sukkah on September 25th, and a Bucks game on the big screen in the Sukkah on September 26th. We will also be having more in-person youth events this year, and a high party and another casino night are currently in the works. And be on the lookout for some fun and informative wine tasting classes coming soon. We should all know about two major initiatives that will affect Rodef Shalom in the future. First is the possible sale of our land to a developer. Given our location on Bayshore, Rodef regularly gets unsolicited offers for our property from developers. We have historically turned them down because they would require us to leave our current location and find an entirely new building. But we received an offer a few months ago that would allow us to stay in our synagogue and develop our parking lot. That offer was first presented at a congregational meeting. Then we went to several developers to see if they had a higher offer. With the real estate market how it currently is, we got higher offers from 3 different companies. After reviewing all the offers, the board voted to move forward with contract negotiations with Related, who offered $9.3 million, 70 parking spots, $30,000 at signing of the contract, $147,000 non-refundable deposit at 90 days, and another $500,000 deposit at 12 months. Many of you have asked, why are we considering this if we have balanced our budget? And the answer is we are looking realistically at the future. We have an aging building and an aging population here at Rodef. We are getting an offer that allows us to keep our current building. If current real estate conditions don't last, future offers and circumstances may not let us stay in this home. A $9 million endowment will ensure our strength as a congregation long into the future and will allow us to do some much-needed improvements on this building. The timeline on this deal is long, and it is not a sure thing. We are working with a company that is strong and experienced in Tampa, but we are going to need a land use change for the city to approve their plans. And the closing, when we would get the balance of the $9.3 million, will be about 2 years after we sign the initial contract. During that 2-year period, we will have some legal and other costs. This deal will help us very much in the future, but even the near-term realization of that future is still 2 years away. In addition to an email communication and 2 congregational meetings about the proposed sale, we have discussed it regularly on my monthly Zoom Q&A sessions, and we will continue to do so if you have any further questions. The second issue that will affect our future is the rabbi search. As you remember, we paused the rabbi search last year when the USCJ notified us that we are not able to bring rabbinical candidates to interview in person. I think no one can deny what a wonderful job Rabbi Cantor Cornwalsall has done for Rodef over these last 15 months, and he will definitely be a very strong candidate to contend with as our search begins again. The Rabbi Search Committee, under the leadership of Carol Simon, Sarah Ingber, and Lloyd Stern, have been meeting this summer and have our application ready to turn in to the USCJ this month. Please join us for an in-person focus group this Sunday at 10 a.m. or on Zoom on September 23rd at 7:30 p.m. I know many of you have strong opinions about whether we should be restarting this search, but I trust we will respect each other as we move through this process in a very open manner. One thing that really moved me when I was in Israel was the sense of purpose and community and service that the Israeli people have. I did find it in sharp contrast to some of the current divisiveness and lack of community that I've seen lately in the United States. But here at Rodef, I do feel we have the same strong sense of community and service that I felt in Israel. We are a family, and the most rewarding part of my job as president has been getting to know many of you better. I have been lucky to work with such dedicated people as Rabbi Cantor Cornwalsall, our executive director, Ken Kahn, and our entire staff, Josh, Jen, Miguel, Brian, and Ernest. I thank them for all they do for Rodef. Also, I need to thank your incoming president, Lloyd Stern, for all he does for Rodef and to help me. And last, but definitely not least, I need to thank my husband, Jim, for all his support, which allows me to be my best for Rodef. Now I have the honor of thanking our lead donors for this Kol Nidrei appeal. First, I would like to thank Betty Shillette and Liz and Justin James for their generous donation of $10,000. They inspired Jimmy and me to also give $10,000. I would also like to thank Judy Gencheft and Steve Greenbaum, Marty and Maxine Solomon, Bert and Nina Bernstein, Abe and Betsy Markadis, and Marty and Barbara Port for their $5,000 donations. In preparing for my Kol Nidrei speech, I looked up the word tzedakah, and it is defined as, among Jewish people, charitable giving, typically seen as a moral obligation. I am proud that Judaism sees charitable giving as a moral obligation. Many organizations are deserving of your tzedakah, but I hope as we move into 5782, you will put Rodef Shalom high on your tzedakah list as our lead donors have. We need your support to continue to bring you all the great programming mentioned earlier and to be a strong conservative shul in South Tampa. You can give tzedakah to Rodef in several ways. Many of you generously give your time to Rodef. Many of you give your funds to Rodef, and many of you do both. I hope that all of you will participate in this year's Kol Nidrei appeal, even if you are only able to give $18. I hope that you will look hard at your moral obligation and give as generously as you can to RODF as to keep us as strong and healthy as possible during 5782. We are here for you. Please reach out to us if there is anything we can do for you that we are not doing. I hope to see everyone this year at Shabbat services, Minyan, religious school, youth groups, movie nights, our Sukkot events, Shabbat dinners, or any of the other events we have throughout the year. L'Shana Tova, I wish you all to be inscribed in the Book of Life and have a happy and healthy 5782.